welcome to another edition of the LTU Football Coaches Show featuring the head coach, Jeff Duvendeck. I'm Lorne Plant from State Champs. Thanks for being here again. It's been a while as you guys had a bye week this week. Were you able to get away from football and enjoy the weekend or anything?
I did get to see my family more, but Saturday I pretty much watched other college football games. So
all right.
That's what I do in my spare time, right?
Well, I'm assuming that your wife, Brianne, she's not from here originally, correct?
Correct.
So she has had, a good amount of time now to assimilate herself into the Southeast Michigan lifestyle. How's she liking it? How's she adjusting?
Oh, she loves it. We're close to my family. Her mom moved out here with us, so it's been great for her. Moving from, I kind of set the bar low, moving from Canton, Missouri with 1,500 people to Southfield, Michigan with 75,000. Yeah, she's loving life. So, so she enjoys it.
Okay, good. We record this podcast every Tuesday night at Shields Pizza between 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Do yourself a favor. Come on down for some great food and drink specials exclusively for fans just coming down to enjoy the podcast. They've got some good deals. The pizza here is really, really good. You like the nachos?
I love the nachos.
Okay. Let's first talk about the last time the Blue Devils took the field. You headed to Ypsilanti, took on the club version of Eastern Michigan, and the Eagles, and I need to say this right, the Eagles were pretty much plucked from the start.
They started slow and ended slow.
Right. So. 65 points is another new program record for your team. It seems like you seem to be doing that every week. The boys dominate again. They win the game 65-0, second shutout in a row. You haven't allowed a point in 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 46 seconds of game time, according to our stat guru.
John's on top of that stuff.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. I do want to give a shout-out to the Players of the Week from EMU, of which we have a couple of here, and we may bring them up and talk to them in a minute. The Special Teams Player of the Week was Spencer Iaquinto. Iaquinto. Defense was Tommy Larson, who's here. Offense was James Thorpe. Scout Special Teams, Anthony Meager, who is here. Yep. And Scout Defense was Nick Ryan. Scout Offense, Makai Otero. And a lot of, what you guys do and the reason that, what isn't talked about a whole lot in football is that you guys are able to execute the way you are because your scout team prepares you for the style of offense and defense you'll play. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's a huge part of game preparation. So throughout the week, a good amount of our players kind of assimilate the other team, and they try to show us their best version of them. And our guys have done a great job of that, which is why we've been able to execute on Saturdays.
Absolutely. So we're going to meet a couple of the guys in just a little bit. We've got a potpourri here of clips that we want to show you, kind of relive. If you didn't get a chance to see what happened at Eastern Michigan, we could do that now. And I don't know if this is the official name for the defense, the Legion of Doom. Is that?
That's our D-line name.
That's your D-line name.
Yep.
Okay. So the Legion of Doom, the defensive line, and the rest of the LTU defense made their presence known at EMU, combining for 20 tackles for a loss, a season-high 7 sacks. 7 different Blue Devils were in on the sack party, 13 making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Let's roll clip 1. On their opening possession of the game, the Eagles pinned on their own 2-yard line, try to rush the ball. Tommy Larson and Robbie Best combining in the backfield for first of 2 safeties. Again, just executing perfectly.
Yeah, as you watch them here, you can see Robbie. It's a good vision of Robbie. The guard and the center separate. You see Robbie trigger come downhill immediately, gets in the backfield, gets the ankle, and Tommy's off the edge. He's got a great get off, so he gets off the edge and bends and makes the tackle from behind.
So big push from the line there, no doubt. You allowed 68 total yards, making this the 3rd time this year that an LTU team has held an opponent to less than 100 yards of total offense, which obviously is huge. Never easy for the opponent when you guys are lined up on the other side. Let's roll clip 2. 2nd and 9 from the EMU 33. It's a rush for 4 yards, but Jalen Smith with the big takedown.
Yeah, you can see, obviously, Jalen's excited about his tackle here, but does a great job. He comes up, puts his shoulder in, keeps his head off to the side, safe tackling like we're teaching.
Real textbook.
Drives his feet through, lifts him off the ground, and puts him on his back. So it was, he's learned a lot from Coach Q and executed what he's learned.
And that's what's happening, too. So you're seeing, if they do get by the line, the linebackers are supporting well. It seems like they're also doing a good job of pushing them back towards the inside.
Exactly. Yeah, they understand leverage. They understand how to force them to their teammates like you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can see several white jerseys around the ball all the time.
Danny Max led the charge for his linebacker position with 3 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks. He also made a great play on special teams. Let's roll clip 3, facing a 4th and 21. They're just trying to punt it away. Danny Meeks breaks through the line, blocks the punt, bounces through the hands of several Blue Devils. Wallace Tagata pounces on it for the touchdown. Pretty fun play right there.
Yeah, as you said, Danny came through the line, bursted through there, and I think was a little disappointed he couldn't scoop it up and score. I know the linebackers work on that daily, and he usually does a great job with it, but obviously feeding it to his teammate Wallace Tagata, and Wallace picked it up here for 6.
Absolutely. Danny Max, if I didn't say it correctly, Danny Max making the big play there. The team is averaging 130 yards a game running the football. Tanner Foley, a big reason why this season. Clip 4, opening drive of the game. This was just the second play from scrimmage. Tanner Foley takes the give, 49 yards for the score.
Yeah, here you can see Tanner gets a read off. He has a key read on every play, and he sees his key read, makes a cut to the outside, and then at the second level, he's got speed and pulls away from everybody.
Yeah,
great block there by Kendall Williams towards the end to really solidify the touchdown.
And that's a key, when you're watching plays like this, and once things, granted this was early in the game, but once things starting to get out of hand, you're not seeing your guys relax in any way. They're continuing to play just as if this was a tie game. Exactly.
We talk about, when we come out of halftime, it's a 0-0 ball game, regardless if it's 36-0 or 0-36, the other way. We always want to play a 0-0. We want to play to our standard, the Blue Devil standard. We want to earn our try consistently,
that's right.
And that's what we've been preaching to the guys, and they've been buying into it, and it's been helping us out.
Now, you're also averaging over 200 yards passing per game. The quarterback, Tyler Coca, always doing a good job putting the ball into the hands of his playmakers. Let's roll clip 5. 1st and 10. You're leading 16-0 at this point. Ball spotted at the 29. Coca finds Kendall Williams on the out route. Williams makes a miss, sidesteps another, turns on the Jets.
Yeah, we know Kendall's an explosive player. He's had some explosive plays on special teams, kick returns, punt returns. Here he makes a couple guys miss and pulls and accelerates quickly. You saw him with the big block on the play before.
Right.
Coach Mason preaches to him, if you don't block, you don't play. So, he's got to make the block to be able to make this catch. So, it's something we preach with our receivers is they got to be a complete player. And Kendall, you can see in those last 2 plays, does both things well.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk to a couple of the players. We got a few minutes here. Why don't we start with Tommy Larson, because he's always itching to get some airtime. So let's bring him over here. I don't know how much longer you can be able to wear those shorts, man. It's starting to cool down, but
it's still pretty warm.
Yeah, it is.
We're
definitely.
good.
So how you doing?
Good. How about you?
All right, I'm good. So let's talk about kind of where you guys are at right now as a defense. When you dominate the way that you guys have, how do you not get complacent and not feel that you have to work as hard as you do because you're going to be in a ball game here pretty soon? How do you keep the guys riled up that we cannot ever take a playoff?
We were playing club teams before. It wasn't like it was easy, but now that we're getting to a tougher schedule, we got to start really knuckling down and start working even harder because this is what really matters right here. We got Trinity, then we got Indiana Wesleyan for our homecoming, and it's just like a bunch of good teams coming all at once, especially like Northern Michigan the next week. They're in the GLIAC. It doesn't get,
It's going to be rough.
So
it's all right, though.
But you just got to keep working harder. There's no letting up.
This is the reboot season, so this is going to be I don't think anybody expected you guys to come out of the gate quite like you have. Maybe you did because you've been watching these guys practice, that's good. But talk about just the family right now, because you guys are several games into this thing. Talk about how you really are supporting each other, how you feel this chemistry and this bond is happening right now.
You know, it's actually crazy. You know, I think back to like the first day we came on camp, and it was like July 30th. Mm-hmm. Like it's been 2 months exactly, actually. So I just think it's crazy how much you can grow as a team, even in like that short of time. You know, and like as like we know everybody, like everybody's chemistry is perfect. You know, obviously like we're playing really well, and usually when you play really well, that means that your chemistry's good on the field and you guys are clicking and just everything's just going right. And that's how I feel about it right now. You know. So if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to be successful.
Absolutely. What was it like playing at Reinerson on the gray turf and all that?
It was pretty fun, you know.
That's a D1 stadium there.
Yeah, it was sweet. Like some more fans, but
right,
it was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right, then. Cool, man. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it as always. Tommy Larson getting it done. Let's bring over here Anthony. Anthony Meager, come on over, my friend. Give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir. So, Scout Special Teams MVP this week. Does Coach do anything special when he announces that, or you just read it on a piece of paper?
He just announced it, and I was like,
okay.
Oh, that's cool. Like, I feel honored to have this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you know, let me ask you, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, about like 30 minutes from here.
Yep, I know where it is. Where'd you play in high school?
Lakeview High School.
Okay, all right. And how did you end up getting, recruited or coming to LTU?
So I was just looking for engineering schools, and I looked at Lawrence Tech. I'm like, yeah, they got a good program for engineering, and I heard that they were starting up a football program. So I was like, all right. So I looked on their website, and there was like a questionnaire. So I filled that out, sent over my film, and Coach Duve got in contact with me, and then here I am. So.
Yeah. What'd you like about him when you saw the film and when you met him?
I liked he played both sides of the ball. He was a patient player, physical player. I thought he did a good job on defense, staying square, staying disciplined to his gap and things like that. And that's where he's playing for us now, is on the defensive side. Physical and discipline, those are two of the things that we wanted to build our team on. He fit that bill.
Yeah. Well, there's no glory in running the scout team, and being on that. There's not a lot of pub, but again, such a vital role, so important. For those, of you guys right now that are right there, kind of earning your spot and getting your opportunities when you can, how much are you embracing the effect of the scout role?
I'm just going in there like I'm actually like playing the game. I'm doing everything I can do to make the team better so we can win some games, and that's all that's in it for me. I just want to keep helping out the team anywhere I can. So.
And quickly, how fun is it you're taking the identity of this team this week. So they'll say, for instance, we're going to get into, the fact that you're playing Trinity Bible this week, right? And so, you've got to assume that role. So here's what they do, and then, here, Anthony, is your role that you're going to have to play this week.
So, I'm just going in there, like, give them every down like they would see, hopefully, in, like, the game. So when they come up to the opponent, that I give them a better look. So when they go against the opponent, it's just, like, it's too easy for them. So trying to give them the best look possible.
Yeah. So what's college life been like for you so far?
It's been pretty good. Just getting through classes and getting good grades, basically.
Yeah, you liking your classes?
They're all right. Could do without a few of them, but yeah, they're not bad.
All right, and getting a chance to, trying to obviously have your academics and your athletic side. How do you find that balance?
Good. You just got to keep a time management. Really, just got to find the time to have football and class and homework, and just keep it going. Don't get overworked, and just keeping it straight through.
We'll keep it on. Keep on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. All right, Anthony Meager, thank you very much. Can we bring him on?
Can we bring up Kai?
Yeah.
We got a repeat visitor here with Makai Otero.
It's not Odell Beckham.
Offensive Scout Player of the Week again.
Yeah.
And has also been our Offensive Player of the Week. So
Makai Otero. Just for a few moments. Thank you for coming by. Again, we are at Shields Pizza every Tuesday night from 7 to 7:30. You can meet some of the Blue Devils, hang out, great food and drink specials. And this is the LTU Football Coaches Podcast. And so, Kai, tell me, quickly about what your experience has been like up to now in terms of playing college football and adjusting to college life.
Playing college football has been great. I think a lot of things have been growing for me recently. Understanding growing up, becoming a man, especially learning responsibilities, and overall understanding what it means to be responsible and held accountable, not make excuses for yourself, especially when you're in high school. You do make a lot of excuses, but then when you come in here, you take on the role of an actual man. You know, mom and dad's not always there to be like, do this or do that, so you do take on the role of being the person to control your own life and control your own destiny. And I feel like as a man that is pretty much what it means, and to grow up and to be something like that is what you want to fashion yourself after.
Do you consider yourself one of the vocal leaders on this team?
I honestly don't. I feel more of an action. I take more of a action type of role. I feel like Tyler Coca and those are the more vocal leaders, like Kayvon Higdon and stuff. But I like more action. I don't really talk as much when it comes to that. But I feel as though you know, that action speaks louder than words. So I feel like doing that really meant you know, just doing what it takes to do that. So that's what I feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So talk about, and we're about to get into it right now. We're going to talk about the long road trip and everything. This was a real bonding opportunity, right, for the guys?
Yeah, definitely. This definitely is going to be a real bonding opportunity, especially that bathroom, because there's going to be one thing I tell you, everyone is going to be eating and using the bathroom a lot, but in all seriousness, it's going to be a great bonding opportunity to be able to be with the guys more and just to be able to talk. Our last road trip, when we were it felt really weird just being with them for so long in the same room, but it honestly was not even bad. We were just talking a lot and talking about game plan, and even then just getting to know them more personally than ever. So, and obviously you're in a position where you're like, I have no one else to talk to really, because sometimes you're on the road, there's no service, so you're just like, you know what, I have no choice but to talk to you.
That's on purpose.
Yeah, it's actually the idea.
Exactly. Boondocks.
So to get to know each other more, and then obviously, you know, just to be able to talk to them, and sometimes even the movie plays, we don't even watch movies, we just talk to each other, even get to know the coaches more, because we even talk to the coaches a lot, just, you know, just about their life outside of football and stuff like that.
And their experiences when they were playing. I mean, most all the guys have played, you know, at both levels, high school and college. It probably now, between Wisconsin Lutheran, that was it, right? Wisconsin Lutheran, and now it probably seems like light years between how you guys know each other now.
It really does. From the point of all the new guys coming in, they honestly don't. I feel like I've known them forever,
right?
Because of how much we've been together, how much we bonded, and you know, with the drive, and then also just playing together, just creates an inseparable bond that we have with each other at this point. I mean, at first, you know, when camp came around and stuff, we didn't know each other. But then at this point now, you can tell the competition is greater just because we're closer together. There are times where we talk trash to each other, but we know at the end of the day, it's all for one purpose and one goal, and that's really what matters at the end of the day.
All right, well, we'll see what happens this week, man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for being on the show.
Problem.
Appreciate it. All right, that's Makayo Otero. All right, guys, we've got a big game this week. We get back to action. You get a week off. How much did, first off, that week off help kind of just heal up and kind of figure out, you know?
I think it's great. I think it fell right at the right time. You know, obviously, it's weird to say you got to rest up for a 16-hour bus trip, to sit on the bus for 16 hours, but I think it was nice to have a little bit of time away from each other. Basically, since we checked in, like Tommy said, July 30th till now, we've been around each other a ton, and sometimes, you know, brothers fight because they are around each other too much, so I think it was nice to get a little separation, but I think we do have great chemistry, and revamp the legs. You know, all of our kids are freshmen, so coming from high school to college, there's a different level of competitiveness, a different speed of the game, and the season is longer. And so the legs tire out, so they needed that refresher.
And you've never had to deal with that before. You've always had seniors and juniors who can kind of do some of that legwork for you. You guys all have to kind of, you know,
they're carrying the load themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So this will be a very interesting experience. For those who don't know, this week you head to Ellendale, North Dakota, to take on Trinity Bible. Seems rather far to play a football game for a Michigan team. How'd you end up in discussions to put that game together?
A lot of teams in my previous league had played them. They're an independent NAIA school. So, you know, as I'm looking for games, there's not a lot of vacancy in games throughout, especially October, November, because everyone has their bye weeks or their non-scheduled, non-league games early September, late August. So once you get to mid-September and through October, it's really hard to find teams.
Yeah.
So you got to dig into the independence teams or just find teams that may have a random bye here and there. So we worked it out with us both being independent where we're going to play a home and home with them in the same season, because next year we won't be able to return the trip because our league schedule will start September 7th and we'll be going until November.
Important thing to note, this is a real team. This is not a club team, correct?
Yep.
This is an actual college football team, and they've kind of had a tale of two seasons, right? They start out 0-3. They're giving up an average of over 60 points a game. They've won their last couple of games by a total margin of 7 points. So they've been close battles.
Yep.
They came at home against Lewis Clark Valley 21-20 and Robert Morris Peoria 26-20. They're averaging about 180 yards a game this season, and their offensive output has really jumped over the last couple of games. So what have you seen that they do well that you feel maybe is a good matchup for you, or one that you guys are really going to have to step up?
Well, they're pretty balanced on offense. They've got a very good running back, and then they distribute the ball well from a quarterback standpoint. So they move it around. They have a good game plan going into each week, and they've attacked different teams differently. So that's interesting to see, and we're kind of curious to see how they're going to attack us.
Yeah. They've got several interceptions, too, this season. Even on their plus-minus is kind of even. Yep. They've got 7 picks, so.
Yeah, their defensive backfield is probably the strength of their defense. Their defensive line is strong and stout, but the defensive backfield is probably the strength of their defense. And, again, it'll be interesting to see how we match up and see how the kids travel. Last time we went to Wisconsin Lutheran, I don't think we got off the bus till the second half. We spotted them 22 points. Right. It was 22-3 in the first half, and then we were able to come out and start playing. And hopefully, if you multiply that times the 6-hour trip times 3, you're about 16 hours, right?
Right.
18 hours, but
yeah,
our 16-hour trip, so we better wake up before halftime.
Yeah, and it's not January, so hopefully you're going to be all right. It's not socked in with weather. You will have a common opponent in Indiana Wesleyan that you'll play this year that will be kind of a good measuring stick in terms of where you guys reassess at the end of the season. You guys have yet to play Indiana Wesleyan, who you'll play twice, right? Once there and once here. Yep. In fact, homecoming here, you'll have Indiana Wesleyan, which we're looking forward to. Trinity Bible went to Marion, Indiana, and they were defeated pretty soundly by the Wildcats. What do you think from looking at that tape to maybe some of their most recent games that they've made the biggest adjustment? Or is it just simply quality and competition?
I think it's a combination of both, but also it's tough for teams to travel, and that was a 16-hour trip for them. Okay. They did it the day before. We're doing it over 2 days, so I'm sure that they looked lethargic in that game, looked a little bit slower than they did in other games. And again, I don't know if it's level of competition because we haven't played Indiana Wesleyan,
right?
But the more recent wins, Lewis and Clark was their homecoming game, so they were at home for that one. They didn't have to travel. Yeah. And then Robert Morris Peoria is quite a bit closer than Marion, Indiana. So I think a little bit travel. I think a little bit is level of play. Yeah.
All right. So we'll see. That's going to be this weekend. You'll be able to check that live streaming at LTUathletics.com. I believe the game, and you're going to have to help me, Johnny, the game's at noon Eastern. 1 Eastern. Okay, yep. So noon Central, 1 Eastern. You'll be able to watch the entire game at LTUathletics.com and follow along, support the Blue Devils as they take a long trip. I wonder if you can, to the best you can, give me a quick recruiting update. Just when do you plan on bringing more guys into the program? What's that evolution?
Well, every home game we're having kids on campus, so if you'd like to come visit a home game, see our atmosphere, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to have you. We're looking to bring in probably another 25 to 30 kids this upcoming fall, but we'd like to add probably anywhere between 4 and 6 this January as
Right.
well, so that we can get some help through spring ball and add some
Get them
numbers
in
for
classes
them.
already, get them comfortable with it.
Get them acclimated to the college atmosphere, and then also to our offense and our defensive schemes.
Yeah, and then how will you, as far as when you sign them, the NAIA is not like the NCAA where they have to wait for a specific date or anything. Is that something as soon as you guys, find that match made in heaven, you're gonna sign the deal and make it happen?
Yeah, for our mid-years especially, there's no, whenever that is available, we can go. And then for the guys coming in the fall, we do a signing day celebration on National Signing Day.
Yeah.
But we don't have the regulations like you mentioned, so they could sign tomorrow.
Right, so I'm saying. So this is the information we want to get out there to the public. So if there are guys watching or listening right now, what's the best way for potential players to get on your and your coaching staff's radar if they're not already?
Go to LTUathletics.com, click on the Recruit Me button, and that'll send an email to us. We'll get back to you, and then we'll assign you to your recruiting coach and go that way.
It's pretty easy to find. Even if you go to the football page or whatever, there is something that, the Recruit Me button is there. Just click it, fill out the questionnaire, and get on the radar. And the coaches are actively out there right now searching for the next wave of Blue Devils as this whole thing really gets going. And got a big game this week, so I'm looking forward to it, seeing how you guys perform. It could be another 65-0 rout. Who knows? But if anything, it is a team that is going to be a challenge. Again, long road trip. You're going to see what the mettle of your guys have.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Lorne.
All right. Hey,
Thanks
guys, make sure you check out the LTU Sports Report. Every Monday at 4:30, it debuts on Fox Sports Detroit. Covers all of Lawrence Tech athletics, including football. And there should be highlights of that game versus Trinity Bible on the next show on Monday night. Again, re-airs air throughout the week. Just check your local listings. You can also find it. There's an LTU playlist on YouTube. And go to the website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow it all. John Hebron and the crew, Derek Blaylock, all do a great job of handling all the social media and getting all that information out there and really keeping you up to date and in tune with what's happening. In fact, there's a nice segment. They wired up Kolka in practice. It's pretty cool. Check it out. It's always fun stuff. Great things happening at Lawrence Tech. We want to thank Shields Pizza here for hosting us again. And we'll see you next week right here on the LTU Football Coaches Show podcast. Thanks for watching and listening. Go Blue Devils.
Steady.